Hi, I'm Mike Callan, and welcome to the TransCare Anhydrous Ammonia Tour. I'll be your host and guide for this training program. To give you a bit of my background, I was a career captain in the Wallingford, Connecticut Fire Department for 20 years, and have been responding to hazardous incidents and training emergency responders for almost 40 years, even before there were placards. I'm also the author of several hazardous materials emergency response guides and was part of the training development teams for serving propane and the pipeline industry. What I've learned from my experiences in order to respond safely and effectively to hazardous incidents, you need education, information, and support. One of the most valuable resources you have available to you is TransCare. TransCare is a voluntary national outreach effort that focuses on assisting communities to prepare for and respond to a possible hazardous materials transportation incident. TransCare members consist of voluntary representatives from chemical manufacturing, transportation, distribution, and emergency response industries, as well as the government. TransCare promotes safe transportation and handling of hazardous materials, educates and assists communities near major transportation routes about hazardous materials, and aids community emergency response planning for hazardous materials transportation incidents. Let's get started by telling you what we aim to accomplish with this training package. The overall goals of this program are to increase the responders' awareness and understanding of the risks and potential outcomes associated with an anhydrous ammonia incident, to increase your ability to recognize and identify the presence of ammonia in an emergency using current placards, labels, container shapes, tank construction, and other information. To increase your awareness in an emergency of the need for additional support and resources from railroad carriers, cargo transportation companies, and Chemtrec and Canutech. To provide basic knowledge of the hazards of anhydrous ammonia, its chemical and physical properties, and some primary risk assessment and basic terminology used in the ammonia industry. And finally, to provide some information on basic control and confinement operations within the capabilities of the resources and personal protective equipment provided by the responders organization found in your emergency plans. There is a lot of valuable information in this training package about anhydrous ammonia, including recognition and identification, chemical and physical properties, type of releases, life safety considerations, environmental impact, emergency response, and shipping containers. There are 4 units or blocks presented in this training program. Each block is delivered by a knowledgeable industry representative. I know many of these instructors personally, and they are well known for their expertise. The 4 anhydrous ammonia training blocks will cover anhydrous ammonia chemical properties and uses, transports and nurse tanks, railroad emergency response, and anhydrous ammonia emergency response considerations. This training package is primarily designed for first responders as a takeaway from a TransCare Anhydrous Ammonia Tour event. However, we've designed this package to stand on its own by including videos of the 4 presentation blocks, video tours of hands-on container segments, and the actual PowerPoints and presenter notes from the tour. As most of you know, first responders are the individuals who respond to releases or potential releases of hazardous substances as part of their initial response. Their overall purpose is protecting nearby persons, property, or the environment from the effects of the release in a cautious, defensive fashion. They are not actually trained to stop the release. This is the function of technicians or specialists. The first responders' function is to be aware of the dangers of hazardous materials like anhydrous ammonia, recognize that there is a release, know how to notify proper authorities, and then, depending on their training, know how to use personal protective equipment provided and carry out the responsibilities in the emergency plan to keep the release from spreading and prevent injury from exposure. While this program is designed for first responders, hazmat technicians and specialists can also use this training to support material in their own training programs. One more note, and this is very important. Remember, in a transportation emergency involving any hazardous material release, you are not alone in the situation. There are organizations and resources ready to help and provide assistance. Call them as soon as possible. Public safety, as well as your own safety and your team's, depends on it. Thank you, and be careful.